We're on, this one's the funny one. It should be a fourth, but I'm calling it a diminished fifth, which is the same. The reason it should be a fourth is because it should go 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's still going to be a 6-note away, right? But it's the same distance as a diminished fifth. So we just pick whichever one is the right one, even though it's the same distance, so that we still can say it's a fourth. So that's why, that's kind of the cool thing about our music system, and kind of the weird thing. We kind of shoehorned it in, made it work by giving two names to the same distance, which is, kind of weird, but it helps, but then it kind of messes things up a lot at the same time. So, but it is what it is. Anyways, so it's 6 notes away. That's a really weird distance, by the way, too, because there is no inverse of it. So it's that tensiony sound. It gives you like the tensiony sound. And the inverse distance is also 6, because if we go around a circle that has 12 steps in it, if I'm at 6, then I can go 6 one way or 6 the other way. It doesn't matter. It's the same distance. It's just the view is different, right? Because you're walking on one side of the field of the track versus the other side of the track, and one side has the pond next to it and stuff, but the other side has a nice like trees and things. So just whichever way you feel like going, there it's the same distance. Like, it's not going to give you any more exercise in either direction. All right, so 6 note away is just out of reach, of course. So if I measure it on the same string, whether I go forward or the other way, it's going to be 6 notes away, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, boom, right? And there's that B. So we're going from here, and I've crossed over the fault line. So 5 would be right there, and then 6. Now this high on the guitar, I can basically reach it even though it's 6 frets away. If it was further back on the guitar, possibly can't reach it, because normally, again, like 5 frets is kind of the maximal distance typically that we can reach. Obviously, if I go backwards, it's going to be 6 frets back this way, and I can't quite reach it, right? All right, then, I got to get this thing back. Let's go up a string. So if I go up a string, where's my orange one? Oh, there it is. If I go up a string, then usually I would look for the inverse distance, which is 12 minus 6, which is also 6. So I can say, okay, it's just 6. It is what it is. I got 5, and then back one is 6. So if I go from here, go 5, and then back one is 6. So I can go either way. I can go from B to F. That's a 6 note away, which I could call a diminished fifth, or which is possibly more common of a name, and on this term, or an augmented fourth. And if I go from the bottom to the top, that's when I want to call it an augmented fourth if I'm looking at it in relation to the Lydian scale, because I need a fourth, but again, it's the same distance as a diminished fifth. It's just a naming convention. All right, so it gives you that tensiony sound. If we wanted to convert from a Lydian to a major, then all we have to do is say, I'm not going to be picking up the augmented fourth, which pushed it up 1. We'd push it back 1, and that would change the whole shape just by that one note to being an F major. So note, that's one of the ways that you can pivot between these shapes. I can say any of the shapes, any of the modes, if I compare that mode to its related major or minor, will only have one interval difference. So if I know this shape really well, one way I might say, hey, look, I want to start playing with an F major, is to simply pick the note that's different from the Lydian, the interval that's different, and change that one note. And then you can still kind of think of everything the same and focus in on that one note being different, right? And okay, so I've already said that. Move on, dude. You're like, get going on the lap. We're never going to make it around the pond if we don't keep walking. So then we're going to go, okay, let's go down 1. If I go down 1, it's going to be 5, and then 6 up this way. So 5, 6, there's that diminish. Anytime I see that shape, that's the diminishes shape. So that means that the sixth note away augmented fourth, which is also a diminished fifth distance, if I go down one string, is always one fret forward unless I cross the fault line, which only happens on, in this case, the G string, right? So if I go to the G string, then it's not going to be one fret forward, but 2 frets forward. Why? Because this tectonic plate moved to the right. It moved to the right and causes us all kinds of confusion, but we just deal with it, man. Deal with it. That's how things are. That's how it is. That's how. Can't I shift the plate back? Well, maybe. But what are you gonna? You're gonna shift. You're gonna put the Pandora back together. Is that what you're gonna do? You're gonna shift them all? No. You just deal with it. Okay. Just deal with it. That's how things are. So let's go down 2 strings. So it's gonna be 5, 10, and then 9, 8, 7, 6. Let's count it here. So if I go down 2 strings, 5, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Can't hit the right string. It's the pick's fault. My pick is not working right. The pick point is messed up. It's not my fault. If I go down 2, so that means if I go down 2 strings, the 6th note away augmented fourth, which is also the same as a diminished fifth, is always 1, 2, 3, 4 frets back unless I cross the fault line, which could happen like two out of the 3 possibilities if we don't go around the horn, which I'm trying not to think about right now because I messed my head up. We could go like to here and then go back to here. I'll think about it later. It's not like I'm scared of it or anything, going around the horn. I'm not scared of thinking about it or anything. I just don't feel like doing it right now. Later on I'll do that. So that means that if I go down 2 strings, that the 6th note away augmented fourth or diminished fifth is always 1, 2, 3, 4 frets back unless I cross the fault line, which happens on two times, could happen on the D string or the G string, in which case, because this tectonic plate shifted up, if I go down 2 strings from there, then I have to find the cafe, the 6th note away, diminished fifth, or augmented fourth, 1, 2, 3 frets back. It's only 3 frets back. All right, let's go down 1. You're pulling too much time, man. I think this is the last one I'm gonna have to do 3 of them tomorrow because this is taking too long. You've got to pick up the pace. You got to pick up the pace. All right, I'm gonna go down 1. I'm gonna take a nap by the pond as I go around the circle here if I'm gonna make it back, and I don't want to do that because there's bunch of criminals in here. There's probably drug addicts creeping around there. So what was I on? I need to find a B over here. Okay. So now I'm going to go down 3 strings and cross the fault line. So I'm going to go 5, 10, and then we shift up here to 15. 15 minus 12 is 3, and then 4, 5, 6. All right. So we're going to say if I'm on this string, it's going to be 5, 10, and then up here to 15. 15 minus 3. 15 minus 12 is 3. 4, 5, 6. Boom. Interesting sound. So we're going to say, all right, so that's going to mean if I go down 3 strings and cross the fault line, the 6th note away augmented fourth, which could also be called a diminished fifth, is 1, 2. Oh, man. Oh, now it's all messed up. I can't work like that. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 frets up, and if I didn't cross the fault line, which could happen if I'm on the top string, even without going around the horn. That's the only time that could happen. Then, and I go down 3 strings. So if I go down 3 strings, the 6th note away augmented fourth or diminished fifth will be 1, 2, 3 frets up unless I cross the fault line, which happens 2 out of 3 possible times, in which case if I go down 3 strings, the 6th note away diminished fifth or augmented fourth will be 1, 2, 3, 4 frets up because the tectonic plate shifted to the right. Okay, And so let's go down one more. Uno más, por favor. So we're going to say this is going to be, now this one, of course, I could go up one. It's like, why would I count down there? I could just count the one at the top, and then it's the same at the bottom. That's the easy way to do it. What are you're doing laps around the circle for no good reason. Well, because I like the exercise. That's why I like the exercise. Maybe I want to do laps. Maybe I do have a reason. I need to do some laps, okay? Sometimes, but then if you want to do it the easy way, you could say if I go up one string, then it's going to be, you could usually take the inverse, but the inverse is still 6. So it's just going to be 5 and then 6, and then that's the same as down here. If I count it this way, it's going to be 5, 10, and then up to the fault line, 15. 15 minus 12 is 3, plus another 5 is 8, and then 7, 6. Let's count it out here. So it'd be 5, 10, and then 15. 15 minus 12 is 3. Is 15 minus 12 is 3. Okay, paso. Wait a second. Hold on. It's going to be from here 5, 10, 15. So 15. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, it's 3. And then plus another 5 is 8. 8. Let me do it one more. 8, 7, 6. There it is. I'm going to finish it off looking stupid because I'm a little tired here. I'm a little tired. So let's call it good on that one. So that's going to be the big one. I'm still kind of tripping out on this going around the entire horn. Well, that means that if I go down 1, 2, 3, 4 strings, then I will always cross the fault line if I go down 4 strings unless I go around the horn, in which case the 6-note away augmented 4th or diminished 5th will be 1 fret back. But let's just think about it this way. Like if I started on this note, I could go down 4 strings, which is actually going around the horn and not cross the fault line, which is a trip, man. So I could go down 1 and it would be 5, and then that string repeats up here, which would still be 5, and then it would be like 10 and then 15, and then but 15 minus 12 is 3, and then plus 3 plus another 5 is 8, and then 7, 6. Boom. Right? Now again, it would be a lot easier for me just to say, well, why don't I just count the inverse distance, which would be -5, 4, 3. But again, I think there's no -5. It would be the inverse distance from here, which would be -5, which would be -5, 6. -5, 6. Right. Because I'm going up the fault line. There's the fault line. All right. But again, I think there's something to be learned from going around the horn like that. I'm not sure exactly how I want to work that into my routine to pick that up, to get that understanding down, which is why I'm kind of babbling a little bit. But I think I might ponder that more and hopefully do a better job of explaining why that might be useful in future presentations. So next time we'll go into the 7, 9, and 11.